the center. Elevated, real perspective. Real perspective. The game, the business, NIL, culture, tech.
This is 21 titles.
21 titles. Weekly recap. Women's sports at the center. Real perspective. Real perspective. Women's basketball. The game. The business. NIL. Culture. Tech. Thumb on. The pulse. This is 21 titles.
What's up, y'all?
It's been a minute.
Yeah, I mean, 2 weeks felt like a month.
It did. It did. It did.
Crazy.
Let's see.
We only been away for 2 weeks, y'all. You know, we have to celebrate birthdays, celebrate Mother's Day, and now we back.
Mm-hmm.
What was beautiful about Mother's Day weekend, though, was the beginning of the WNBA season. I'll say that.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the second weekend of WNBA action, and we'll be reporting on some games that happened during the week, and the one that we actually watched today. So we know that there's a couple of games coming on right now. I know the Storm and the Fever are playing. They started at 6, and then we got who else is playing? I just don't like that they don't stagger the games, yo. Like, why do we have 2 games at 7:00?
Yeah.
And why did
Right now,
2 games yesterday?
yeah. No games yesterday. We got the Sky and the Lynx on right now. The Storm and the Fever, and then Tempo on the Spark. So, yeah. All them games on right now.
Yeah, they could have staggered it. 1, 5, 7, 9. Like, y'all gonna have to hire somebody to do the scheduling a little bit better or something, because I'm just kind of whack. Because yesterday was a perfect opportunity. Like, I felt like today's afternoon game was supposed to be yesterday. Like, it felt like a Saturday afternoon game. Okay, State Farm Arena was sold out today.
It was. It's a good game, too.
It was a good game today. It was a good game. I mean, at some points I was getting lost during the game because
Same.
the Aces were up by like 17. I mean, it looked like they was pulling away, and then the Dream said,
Yeah.
They did the Jamie Foxx. It came back, but thank you everybody for tuning in. This is episode 126 of the 21 Titles Weekly Recap. You know what? We really come here every weekend to talk about business and basketball.
Period.
That's really what
That's it.
Is we're 2 creative professionals. Chantee is she's a lawyer by profession. She deals with intellectual property and all that under that category, and I am a health and wellness professional. But at the root of it all, we're both former student athletes and just lovers of women's basketball, because that's kind of like how we started, you know, playing together in our adolescence, and then just kind of growing up and playing, and, you know, both being collegiate athletes. I had the opportunity to play professionally overseas for a little bit, and you know, we come here because we believe that the business of sports is really an integral piece now in sports, And it's important that we service the community with these titles and these headlines that are coming out on a weekly basis. So, from the WNBA CBA that we've touched upon, we're going to touch upon the WNBA's media rights deal that has been, we felt like it was a little bit devalued about a year ago when it came out, and now they're saying that the value of the media rights deal has increased. So we'll talk about that today. There's a new women's league that has started. We'll discuss that today. That's very exciting because it just gives another opportunity for women who are not able to participate in the WNBA to still play domestically over here and get some exposure. So we'll highlight those things. We talk about NIL, college sports, and then we kind of finish it off with some culture. Today, I do not believe we have any tech news to address, but that's also something too that we touch upon most of the time. We think there's a really, really big correlation between technology and sports, and we're seeing that accelerate. So today we're going to start off with some sports news, and then we'll get into the other categories, and we'll let you guys be on your way to watch some of the games. So let's get into it, Chantee.
Well, you can go ahead because we was talking about the games on Thursday. So
yes. So yeah,
I think the links and the wings.
Yes. So Thursday night, I had the opportunity to watch the Minnesota Lynx versus the Dallas Wings. And, I really, we've talked about this on the show before, like how hard it is to transition from college to the pros and just the transition from any level going up, right? And I'm going to just say Olivia Miles, young lady has blown me away. Okay.
Yeah.
First and foremost, she has the utmost confidence from her coach, right? Cheryl Reeve is giving her the green light to go, right? Like she feels that, even in presses, we've heard her say she's really one of the first true point guards we've had since Lindsay Whalen.
Right.
This is from her mouth, not mine. Okay.
Right.
But I think this fits. She fits on Minnesota. First and foremost, Minnesota's an unselfish team, right? You got Courtney Williams in the presses and during preseason praising Olivia Miles, right? And I think Courtney is doing that because why? She's now in her natural position.
Right.
Okay, she's at the 2 spot. Courtney was never a point guard. Okay,
no.
She was just filling in that role because that's something that the team needed, right?
And shouts to her for doing that.
Right, that's a very hard thing to do.
Yes,
to take a back seat and to do something that's not your natural position, like, and being a point guard, which is the hardest position on the floor, right? She has Fee, who is obviously one of the top WNBA players right now, but she's hurt, right? So I think she just meshes well because she's such a dynamic player, and we've seen this on Thursday. The girl in the pick and roll, whether it's at the top, whether it's at the top of the key, whether it's on the wing, she makes exceptional reads. Like, I have to go back and watch that game because the way she was making reads and the way she was dishing Natasha Howard, like diamond Natasha Howard, was insane. Okay?
Absolutely.
Natasha Howard was eating off of Olivia Miles' reads off the pick and roll. And this is just to encourage young student athletes. Y'all need to be watching the WNBA. You can't say you love basketball if you're not watching these women. If you aspire to being a professional athlete, then you should be watching the WNBA. You should be watching all these leagues that we talk about, right? From Athletes Unlimited to overseas, right? I just seen today that Leonie Feebage, Our Fam, and somebody else won, I believe, the EuroLeague. They were all on the same team. You should be watching what's going on so that you can get a better understanding of just basketball in general, right? Like, I feel like a lot of kids nowadays are not watching basketball. They're just watching highlights because that's the thing that they want to emulate, right? Like, the highlights are the flashy things that, you know, are going to get the oohs and the ahs, but it's really about the fundamentals and how well you understand making the right read and making the right play. Okay? Yes.
I agree.
I agree.
Yes, stand up.
Yes. And you could just see, like, she's playing like she's at TCU. Okay?
Yeah, she's comfortable.
Very
She's
comfortable. Very comfortable. Like, she's doing the little one-handed layups to the rim. All right, like, it really looks effortless for her. But trust me, the stuff she's doing on the court is hard. Okay, it's hard. And go ahead, Chantee.
No, I was about to say, and it's scary. That she looks scary in a good way. That she looks this comfortable this early. I'm just excited to see what her journey continues to look like in this league. That's it. It's sky's truly the limit for her.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's scary to watch.
Like, right now, she's the early favorite for Rookie of the Year. Like,
yeah, like, and again, it's hella early, but still, like,
whoa.
Yeah.
And then let me just comment. Minnesota actually came back and won this game. They were down most of this game. Dallas was up a majority of the game. You know, Paige is looking really good in her second year. I think she had 19 points in the second half, finished with 26 points overall. It just looked like towards the end of the game, the Dallas Wings offensive continuity was non-existent. They went away from all the things that made them successful in the first half. First and foremost, a key contributor, Maddie Segrist. She had 17 points in the first half. You want to know how much she finished with? 17 points. They did not go back to Maddie Segrist, which was mind-boggling to me, right? I don't know why you would go away from someone who's that effective. Like, we've been praising Maddie Segrist since she was at Villanova. We've watched her, and she's also continuing to get better and better. She had an unfortunate injury last year that kind of sidelined her and kind of, you know, stopped her progression from continuing to play. But she's a pivotal piece on Dallas, and Dallas has to, you know, they have to recognize that. Paige, I believe Paige did not trust her teammates towards the end of the game. There was a couple of plays where she definitely could have dished the ball, like, you know, get into the paint and make a play, make a pass. She didn't. She kind of forced a couple of things and made a couple of crucial turnovers in the end. And then I'm gonna also say, where in the world was Arike? Arike was she was nowhere to be found in the game. Absolutely nowhere. Not in the crucial moments of the game. not in the beginning of the game. I don't know where she was. I guess they're still trying to figure out the chemistry between her and Paige, which is okay, right? That's it takes a while to build chemistry on a team. Like this is not anything that's new, but she has to do a better job of getting involved. I didn't really feel like she was being assertive enough. Odyssey Sims, I hope she gets a chance to stay on the team. Like I feel like they be playing with that young lady. Like
They do.
Like it's insane to me that she be getting signed to 10-day contracts, training camp contracts when she has proven herself time and time again. Like she played with the Indiana Fever last year, in the playoffs and was putting in
Played
work.
a pivotal role.
Right. Talk about it.
She's proven plenty of times that she deserves to have a solid seat in somebody's roster. So yeah,
absolutely.
I agree.
So I'm hoping to see Odyssey Sims kind of continue to help them out. She had some crucial shots down the stretch for Dallas. But they got to get it together. And then you had the post-game presser where their coach was talking about a lot of unselfishness is in that locker room. And I heard I was on Twitter, he was getting some flack for saying that, but I mean, I feel like if you don't call it out, you may destroy the locker room culture. Like selfishness can definitely destroy locker room culture, okay? And you got to hold your star players accountable. Now maybe some people said that he should have kept that private and just addressed the team. He just looks like a coach that's not about the BS, to be quite honest. We've seen a couple of preseason, highlights where he legitimately stopped practice and was like, yo, what are y'all doing?
Mm-hmm.
So he
was getting that AZ too a few times, like, yo, shoot the ball. So
he's not afraid to tell it like it is. He's not gonna hold his tongue. So I think they need that. They need somebody who is assertive and who's going to keep them accountable. So I really didn't have any problem with him saying that, So Dallas, I feel like they're gonna get it together. And yeah, that was my assessment. But yeah, Paige, you the leader of the team. She's the leader of the team, but she has to do a better job just down the stretch, trusting her teammates and making sure that she also missed a couple of free throws that were really big, and I'm just like, So, but yeah, y'all gotta watch Olivia Miles, if you get a chance to. She's definitely a great. She'll keep you tuned into the game. That I'll say that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I'll say that.
For sure.
Because sometimes the games be watching me. All right, so
Brittany and I was just talking about that offline. I saw Hyphy's comment. I agree. I think AZ, she's still getting comfortable. Yeah, she's still figuring it out. She's going through the transition that I think Brittany was talking about. What we were expecting. Just Olivia, not to compare the two. Just Olivia Miles just looks a lot more comfortable. But yeah, no, AZ's still getting comfortable. AZ. And when she gets, and the thing is, AZ has the ability to be a stone cold killer. I'm gonna be honest. For sure. Once AZ understands that she could be a killer, it's gonna be a problem. Even in college.
It's the confidence.
Even in college, I still don't feel. Even in college, I was like, I don't feel like she reached her peak stone cold killer level.
For sure.
Where she's just seeing red.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. She had a couple of flashes in the game. Like
yes.
There was one play she did
at
a
the
little
top of
in
the
and out.
key. I
Yup.
saw that at the top of the key on Olivia Miles. We was like,
Yes, ma'am.
okay, all
Yes,
right.
ma'am.
And
Yes,
hopefully
ma'am.
that, triggers her to
Mhm.
continue to get more comfortable. But yeah, I think
Absolutely.
she'll get there. Um,
Absolutely. And
trying to stay positive about it.
she also has to recognize that she's a big guard too. Like she has the
She
ability
is.
to post up smaller guards. I feel like there was one play she had Courtney Williams on her and she drove on the left side and she could have easily powered up and got an and one and made the layup. And she kind of like backed it back out and did a retreat dribble. And I'm just like, that comes with confidence. That comes with confidence, and your confidence grows over time. So I don't think there's anything to worry about with AZ.
Yeah.
She just got to get a little bit more comfortable and just, you know, believe in the fact that she's the ish. Like I'm
It's
that girl.
confidence.
So
It's
yeah, confidence.
I think she did aggravate her knee. I think that was a conversation before that game. Yeah, 3 concussion protocol injuries this weekend is crazy.
Yeah, that's why we didn't see Ryan Howard today, because
Right.
she was on, concussion protocol. So that's unfortunate
Them
because
roster spots. We're gonna
right.
talk about that later, but like, you know, they playing Jenga. Seriously,
That's
like,
a good way to put it. That's a good way to put
they're
it.
playing some teams are gonna have to play Jenga, making sure they got enough people to play and
Yeah,
yeah.
you're
So
right.
you're gonna
Yeah,
talk about that later.
yeah. So that was my assessment of the game. We didn't get a chance to watch the entirety of the Mystics versus Indiana. But Chantee watched the second half, and I basically walked in to my house when Caitlin Clark hit the tying three to force overtime.
Yeah,
You want
the
to talk
fourth quarter
about what
was
happened?
just the second half. Yo, the Mystics. I'm excited about the Mystics. Really young, still got a lot to learn, but they got the pieces. And Sonia Citron, I know that Spendoc left a comment earlier, but that girl, I mean, she's as cool as the other side of the pillow all the time. But you want to talk about basketball IQ, that girl just has it. You want to talk about reading defenses, making great decisions. That's Sonia. Sonia had a great game. Let's see what she ended with 30. She had high. For the Mystics. She shot 10 for 14 from the field. Efficient game. She had 30 and 6. She had 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 turnovers, 1 steal, 1 block. Yes, it was a great game. The joint winning OT. The game winning OT. Kiki, Brittany and I have had offline conversations about Kiki Iriafen, and like to know, yeah, super solid. Super solid. Her the sky is also the limit for her as well. To know that at one point, and Brittany says this all the time, that she was questioning whether she wanted to play in the WNBA
is crazy.
It's crazy because of her skill level, her body type. We can go down just and check off all the boxes because that's what Kiki Iriafen does. I'll say this respectfully because AB did get hurt, but Kiki was whooping on AB that game. Facts. She's so talented and so athletic. She's hard to guard, and she runs like a gazelle. She has good hands. She has good feet. And I think this is only year 2 for Kiki. So
trajectory.
is upward, and she finished with 25 and 13 rebounds.
Mm.
Uh, really great game. And then you got Shakira. That little triangle situation they got Sonia, Kiki, and Shakira.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a scary sight. Shakira had 19. She shot 7 for 11 from the field. She had 9 rebounds, 5 assists. And then you got Cody McMahon. I was happy to see her out there. We know that she was suffering from a minor injury, I think with her elbow or something like that for the past few games. So it was good to see her out there. She had 13 points. I think this was her first official game, her first game. So shouts to Cody McMahon. She had 13 points, shot 5 for 12 from the field, had 5 rebounds, 2 assists. Solid game. And again, Georgia Amore, was happy to see Georgia out there. She has 7 points, 4 assists. I think just again, the Mystics, they look really young. And you could tell even in the fourth quarter because they were making some silly. They was making some silly decisions down the line. Like they were having a hard time inbounding the ball. I don't even remember how many points the Mystics were up in the fourth, but they had a decent lead and kind of threw it away, which led to the OT in the first place. But they have to get better with closing out games. Bottom line, because that shouldn't have went into OT. But then on Indiana's side, Caitlin Clark had high. She hit a big 3, like you said. You walked into your house and you saw that shot. Caitlin, she ended with 32 points. She didn't shoot extremely well from the field, 10 for 28 from the field. Had 4 rebounds, 8 assists though. We had Kelsey Mitchell, 24 points. 24 points. They both had high. Caitlin had high, but then right behind her was Kelsey. So it was a thriller. While mentioning Kiki and Sonya, that 2025 class looking better than the 2024 class where we was. I like that. I like that, and I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. I think Brittany and I may have talked about, not comparing the classes, but we definitely talked about that 2025 class.
Yes.
Because they're showing up big. Yeah, the trajectory for many of them is very high. But that game, it was a good game. Again, shouts to Sonia Citron. Not surprised at how she performed. And I'm very excited to continue to see the Mystics play throughout the season and see how they adapt as the season continues.
Also, I just want to say last thing. I'm going to be honest. Rory with the braids.
Yeah.
I was like, she looked like Cleo from Set It Off, dog.
She do, just tiny.
I was thinking, who is this checking into the game? We used to see her with her afro out. I'm like, Rory Set It Off Harmon? All right.
Yeah, I actually like that.
All right, let's go. Because she's a solid point guard, too. I think she's going to be a pivotal backup point guard for Georgia.
Georgia, yeah, for sure. She will.
And also, a solid team. Caitlin got to do better with her efficiency. She takes a lot of shots. Like, she's a high volume shooter. But it's like sometimes she's taking bad shots. You know what I'm saying? Like, she takes bad shots.
Like
sometimes.
Forcing shots?
Yes.
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 Yeah. Mm-hmm. She has to dial back on forcing shots. And I think sometimes letting the game kind of come to her a little bit better. So I'm interested to see how she, how that transpires throughout the rest of the season. Because I also heard that she hired Steph Curry's performance coach this offseason. So she basically worked on a lot of trying to make decision making a little bit better and like split decision making, like earlier decision making and making faster reads and stuff like that. So it was interesting to hear that she also shares the same performance coach as Steph Curry, because she wants to get a little bit better. But yeah, gotta work on that efficiency, baby girl. Yes.
Yeah, so that was the Mystics in Indiana. Friday. So we had we had the Aces also versus Connecticut. The Aces won 101-94. I did not catch majority of the game, but we saw that Asia finish with a 45 piece. Like, you gotta stop. It has to stop. 45?
Y'all better stop playing with that girl.
No, seriously. And okay, while that number is huge, like the points are huge, for me, the biggest flex is the field goal percentage. Like, she shot 15 for 18.
Yeah.
15 for 18?
Yeah.
Brittany.
That's insane.
That's hard to do. Right. Efficiency on 1,000. Y'all gotta stop playing with that lady.
Yeah, Anissa, you can't do the little.
You can't do the little. But guess what? I liked it. I did. I liked it because she's competitive.
Right.
I like to see that. Because when you hooping, you don't care. But in reality, yeah,
I feel like Asia turned it up a little after she did that. All right, you want to bow wow me? All right, we're gonna see, because it's not really like, it's not her just making layups, right? Like, she's not making layups. She's hitting 15-footers. She's like,
it's always the face up for me. We talked about this last season.
Yeah.
Asia Wilson's going to face up with you. She's going to scan around. She's going to see what you're giving her.
For sure.
She's going to jab to see how you react. It's just, it's beautiful to watch. She takes her time. That's also what we talked about on this pod. It's just, she does a good job in taking her time. She doesn't let nobody rush her or force her to do anything she doesn't want to do. And that is why she performs at this high clip the way that she does.
She plays at her own pace.
She has been.
Yeah, she don't let like you said, she don't let nobody speed her up. She take her time. And I think that just comes over time, right? Like learning how to pick your spot. She knows how to pick her spots. Asia on the baseline, automatic. On the baseline, like today during the game, she came out, she hit a 3. So she still has that to like really develop. Like,
it's in the toolbox though. It's there.
It's coming. It's coming. I seen her step out and confidently shoot the 3. I was like,
correct.
I'm like, oh no, she's going to turn it up a whole nother level. Like, she still
she
got
hit
levels
2 threes
to go.
the Connecticut game.
Yeah, old girl not playing, dog.
I was hearing things like people were like, "Oh, I don't want to vote for her again," like, because they got to give their idea, their thoughts on who they feel like is going to be the MVP of this season. It's like, you don't want to say Asia Wilson, why? And I don't want to hear nothing about voters fatigue, because it's never been that. It's been hate. Like, bottom line, it's hate. And that girl gonna keep turning it up and
hate.
Yo, it's hate. Like, that's just what it is. But you can't deny these numbers. Yeah. So she had 45. And Kennedy had 18. She came right after. She had 18 points. Again, coming off the bench. Kennedy Carter is unguardable. Period. Kennedy Carter is unguardable. She's going to give a lot of guards hell this season.
Yeah.
She's going to give people a very hard time this season. She's a dynamic guard. And now the girl wants to be a two-way player. That's what we heard. The girl wants to be a two-way player. So not only will she smoke your boots, smoke your boots, because that first step is fast.
Crazy.
She's crazy fast. She's going to smoke your boots on offense. The girl now wants to also play defense.
Yeah.
One of the fastest is correct. One of the most athletic, correct.
And she could
She's
jump
doing.
too. Girl could jump.
You took the words out of my mouth. Athletic as hell. Will jump. Will probably try to clap it on your head as a guard.
For sure.
Well, you know, the girl is good. This is such a good pickup for Vegas. Especially after, we seen today, and we'll talk about it. Brittany and I was talking about offline. Jackie had, she didn't have a great game today. But then that's when you have Kennedy coming off the bench and providing like those extra points that you would be missing had you not had Kennedy Carter.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Kennedy is gonna give a lot of teams hell. And that's the bottom line. I love that how Becky is playing her right now. We saw what happened post game today, but and we'll talk about it. But I like that she's coming off the bench right now, and she's just been producing at a very high clip. Coming off the bench, you know what you're gonna get from Kennedy. She's a true competitor. The girl wants to win. Yeah, we're gonna talk about the dream today, for sure, Mr. SC Brad. But yeah, Vegas. Right now we talking about Vegas and Connecticut. On Friday, Jackie Young had a good game. Well, she had 13 points. She could have shot a little bit better from the field. She had 6 rebounds, 6 assists. That's great. Chelsea Gray, 12 points, 7 rebounds, 10 assists is crazy. We saw Haley Van Lith out there hooping on Friday. She finished with 17 points. She shot 3 for 4 from the 3, and 7 for 11 from the field. And Anissa Morrow had 10 and 10. Diamond Miller, she had 10. Kennedy Burt had 11. With the Aces, I want to see how their the beginning of their season is in comparison to their last season. We heard Asia Wilson kind of talk about that today. Like they're not trying to like wait until game or just late in the season to turn it up. They're trying to be consistent from the start and then build off of that as the season continues. So, they got the pieces.
Everybody was in a big cahoots with game 1 when they lost by 33, right? Like they lost to the Phoenix Mercury by 33. But I'm just like, hold your horses. It's the first game. And now look what happened. There's a 4-game winning streak after that. So
right.
These are the defending champs. So they understand the urgency. They understand that the level that they had to play. And then they carried that over from Friday to today. It in a hostile environment too, right? This was sold out State Farm Arena. The place was jumping in there. Like it was loud. But, I think the Aces did a great job of, starting the game off on the right foot. Their foot off the pedal right in the fourth quarter when they let the Dream come back from a 7.
I was like,
yeah,
what? We might as well talk about the game. Yeah, that just look up and I'm like, what happened? Um, yeah. So the Aces beat Atlanta today, 85-84. Um, Alicia Gray, she had 25 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist. Tahina had a good game today.
She
I
sure
mean,
did.
she showed up. She shot 4 for 9 from the three. Want to
And
give a shout out to Medina. Say that again. I'm sorry.
no, she hit Pow hit like clutch threes today. Like that
Yes,
mattered. So she definitely showed up big today. I was feeling Pow today for sure.
same. Medina, she showed up big.
She gonna be good.
She is. She finished with a double today. She had 14 points, 11 rebounds. Navarre, we've talked about Navarre when she was at UNC. Yes, thank you. Thank you for saying that. Navarre has shown even in college that she plays hard on both ends of the floor. That girl wants to win. She's gonna do whatever she needs to, in whatever role or capacity she needs to play at to win. And I'm glad that has transitioned along with her in the W. I think that she is also a great addition for Atlanta. I think she fits right into their style of play. So I was happy to see that from her today. As far as Vegas is concerned, we talked about Jackie briefly, but Jackie didn't have a good game today. She didn't score at all today.
Yeah, I
I
think
don't know if you wanted to talk about that. Yeah.
I had bookmarked a tweet that I seen about Jackie today. So let me just find that. Okay. Jackie Young hasn't gone scoreless in a game since 2020. And she's never gone scoreless in a game where she played at least 20 minutes. That's what I seen today. She played 34 minutes today. She was 0 for 12. But she still has 7 rebounds and 7 assists. Okay, so she was affecting the game in other ways. Still playing defense. But really, I just don't understand why Jackie didn't drive to the basket today. Like, if your shot, all shooters know, if your shot is not falling, you gotta get to the rim, get fouled, go to the free throw line, and see something go in. Right? Like that boosts your confidence. So I was just confused as to why, if she wasn't shooting well, why she didn't drive to the basket, why she didn't get fouled and get to the line. Like that, it just seemed like to elude her today. I didn't get it, but you know, sometimes that's how the cookie crumbles. I mean, you know, sometimes your shot is not falling, but we always talk about how are you impacting the game in other ways. So it was good to see her still rebounding the ball, still facilitating and doing all of that. What can we say about Chelsea Gray? Like, yo,
Clutch.
Chelsea Gray, she got the clutch gene. Like, that young lady has the clutch gene. She's not scared of the moments, okay? She's not scared of the moments. One of the things that I heard the commentators say today was that she's working on having one of her highest 3-point field goal percentage seasons. She really wants to shoot well from the 3-point line to this season, and the girl hit 5 threes today. Okay, she was shooting, but she was also facilitating. Okay, 6 assists. She had 5 rebounds. And I mean, she made the last 2 crucial plays of the game. Okay. And let's just remind you, before she hit that shot to put them up, she missed the previous shot before that.
Yes. And then when they had to
Okay?
jump, as soon as they said jump ball, I was like, oh no.
Right.
Y'all in trouble. Seriously. And then where they had to jump at, I'm like, y'all in trouble if the Aces get this ball. But
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. I wouldn't have wanted the ball in anybody else's hands if I was Las Vegas. She has shown proved time and time again that she's gonna get it done. And even if she don't, I'm willing to live and
No, for
die
sure.
by whatever she decides to do at
For
the end of
sure.
the game. So
For sure. I mean, just making 2 clutch plays back to back on both sides of the floor, right? Like she hits the shot to put them up, and then she comes down on the next possession as Alicia Gray is trying to drive to the basket and just gets a hand in there, pokes it away, and it's just like the girl, you could tell like she high IQ, like IQ is just off the charts. Okay, so for those student athletes looking to emulate, y'all might not be able to pass the ball like her, because sometimes those passes, I don't know how she threads the needle sometimes with the passes that she makes, right? Like, you'll live and die with Chelsea Gray trying to make a spectacular play, but she usually makes the right reads most of the time, so it was great to see that finish. I mean, they gave up the lead, which I didn't
mhm.
expect at all, but they redeemed themselves. So yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you for bringing that up, Hyphy,
Mhm.
because I also told Brittany I didn't see the post game, but what I did see is at the end of the game, once Chelsea hit that shot, I mean got the steal, buzzer went off. I definitely saw Kennedy's face, and I was like, "Oh, she looks annoyed." I was like, "I hope this ain't nothing bad." And then I took a nap. Wake up to news about the post game presser. I think again, I didn't watch it. I just read, and Brittany, you can speak to it because you've seen it. I read Becky's, I guess, response. I like Becky's response. I'm pretty sure, hopefully, moving forward, you know, that type of stuff will be handled in house, um, or just a little bit differently.
Yeah, I mean, she was clearly frustrated going into the post game presser. You've seen it all over her face. You heard it in her voice. She basically was like, I'm happy that we got the win, but I was just disappointed that I wasn't in at the end of the game. And I mean, I think it comes down to trust. Becky said that she was looking to put her best defensive team in at the time, and we're now seeing Kennedy kind of accept the role that she can also be a two-way player. So um I'm hoping that as the season progresses, she's also one of those people that can be in that rotation for having a defensive lineup, because I mean, her assets on offense translate to assets on defense as well. Quick hand, she can basically stay in front of anybody because of her quick feet. She's a dynamic guard, so it's also up to see her trajectory, like, because she's playing so efficiently off the bench right now, and you know obviously I believe Jackie Young will come around, right? Like, this was an anomaly game for
Right.
Jackie today. So, you know, just the extra punch of having Kennedy come off the bench is really a plus for the Aces. So I'm I'm still excited to see how they continue to progress, and just excited to see how Kennedy matures over the course of the season. I think that Becky Hammon is the right coach for her, just like when she was at Chicago, Teresa Weatherspoon was the coach that she needed to be under. So yeah, stuff like this happens sometimes. It is what it is. But like Chantee said, I hope that it can be handled internally before it gets to the public next time, and I think that will happen now that it has happened. So yeah.
Yeah, same. I agree. I also wanted to talk a little bit about Atlanta, specifically Angel Reese. Angel is now in her third year. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Bottom line, I mean, granted, it's very early. Um, I want to see her get a consistent jump shot. And I also would like to see Angel Reese with some solid post moves. Again, this is year 3. We know she's going to be a rebounder machine. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
But she got to finish. Bottom line, at this point, you got to finish.
Yeah,
You got
she
to be
can't
more
be missing
efficient.
layups. She can't be missing
Yeah,
layups.
you just got to be more efficient. And it's still very early in her career. I'm well aware of that. But I am hoping to continue to see growth in the areas that I just mentioned. Because the potential is there. The girl is hella athletic. We know what we're gonna get from Angel. I just would like for her to be a little bit more efficient, specifically on offense.
I
And
think
look a
that's
little bit
fair.
more confident. Yeah. Look a little bit more confident in her decision making on because she's gonna be able to she can produce. She can produce. Again, just want her to be a little bit more efficient.
Yes, and that's coming from a post. Okay, a post to a post. This is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Because at this point, we can see that. And again, I keep saying the same thing, and I'm going to keep saying it. It's very early in the season. But a lot of defenders are able to read what Angel is about to do.
Mhm.
We kind of seen that today when Asia was playing defense on Angel. And Angel was getting frustrated. And I just hope that motivates her to get more tools in her toolbox and to sharpen the tools already in her toolbox. So that again, she could provide more value to her team because the potential is there. She's there. She could do it.
For sure.
So yeah, that's just my 2 cents about Angel.
I think that's a fair assessment, to be quite honest. You know, all of us should be in consensus that she already plays unconventionally. Like it's not the typical. She's not gonna post you up and do all the, like, she has to learn that and grow into that role. And I'm gonna just say it. I don't like how she shoots layups. I mean, she has to learn how to go up, power up, defend herself, like defend, the layup. Like it's just small things I think she has to tweak. Like even with her shot, it's kind of awkward, when she's shooting. So just small things that we see that can be tweaked a little bit for her.
I agree. So we'll see how she continues to progress this season. But so yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that was today's game. We're gonna talk a little bit more about Upshot later, but wanted to talk a little bit about the Upshot League's first game that happened on Friday, which between the Charlotte Crown and Jacksonville Waves. Um, and Charlotte Crown won 103-95. If you're not watching Upshot, you can definitely check out the games on YouTube. I think that's where all the games will be housed at.
Mm-hmm.
But Deja Kelly had a game. She had 31 points and 14 rebounds. Um, yeah, it was a good game. I mean, I was just excited to not only see players that I have watched play, but then also get introduced to some other players as well. And okay,
Chantee
and it's
actually had
funny.
a comment about this.
Shouts to Hyphy. But
For
yeah,
real.
no, my question was who is she continuing to work with?
Right.
Because offline, Brittany and I definitely talking about, we saw a huge jump in just the improvement of her game in Unrivaled when she was working with Lisa Leslie for that short period of time. So I was like, I'm wondering, is she still working with Lisa? If not, who is she working with? I personally don't want to see Angel Reese on the 3-point line. I'm going to say that. I don't want to see her taking threes. I would like for her to continue to work on her mid-range jump shot and feel confident about it and not second guess herself about it. That should be money every single time. So yeah, I would like to see I would like for her to continue to work on sharpening, like I said, tools already in her toolkit and then get some more tools to put in there and feel confident about those. Like I said, at the base of it all, the girl is hella athletic. She can produce. She can. It's just a matter of her actually doing it and continuing to work on those things at this point during the season.
Right.
Yeah.
And I better not see her with Chris Brickley. Yo, like Chantee said, no threes. You don't need a three right now. You need a consistent mid-range and short range. Like, you should be able to hit the little 10-footer on the baseline, like, confidently. Like, how we see Asia hit that, like, it's automatic. It got to be automatic for her, too. So, just, just excited to see her continue her overall player development.
Evan said Brittany hates Chris Brickley ? And put crying face.
I mean, I kind of do. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah. I have. I guess I don't have an affinity for him. He's working out everybody. That's why everybody looks the same. Y'all all going to one trainer, and he's training y'all all the same way. She's a post. She doesn't need guard training, even though she needs to be able to handle the ball. Like, I can see her doing that, but yeah, you need to stick with Lisa Leslie. You might want to hire her to be your player development coach. Cause yeah, everybody. I just feel like everybody goes to Chris Brickley to get on social media. Like, it's a show with him. Like, are y'all really working out? Like, for real. So that's my gripe with that. Honest opinion.
Yeah, that was funny. But yeah, thank you, Hyphy, for
bringing that up.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, we were talking about Upshot. If you don't know about Upshot, definitely check it out. It is equivalent. I don't want to call it like a G League, but that's the equivalent. Yeah, me too. I got my eye on Cheyenne Sellers. I'm gonna say that. I mean, she looked good. She did. She finished with like 18 or something. She finished with 18, but for me personally, I'm keeping my eye on Cheyenne Sellers. I wasn't necessarily super high on Cheyenne when she got drafted because I felt like she was coasting. I feel like while she produced at a very high clip in college and she had an amazing career, I still think there's another gear for
Yeah.
Cheyenne that Cheyenne didn't reach in college. There's another gear, and I don't know. I don't know if other people recognize that, but that's my opinion. I felt like there's another gear for Cheyenne, and she wasn't in that gear. Like, I feel like she would take some plays off. I feel like sometimes she was too loosey goosey with the ball. And she too is she can bring a lot of value to a team. I just need Cheyenne to go to that next gear. So that is why I'm keeping my eye on Cheyenne. But yes, she had a great game on Friday.
Fire. It's another league for them to showcase their talent. That's really what this is. So happy to hear that.
No, yeah, me too. And again, if you haven't watched, please do. It's on YouTube. Check it out. We're going to talk a little bit about that later. So that's all we wanted to cover from Friday and Saturday. And I know, Brittany, you want to talk a little bit about the injury report outside of the 3 concussion protocols that we briefly talked about earlier.
Yeah, so y'all know we talk about injuries often on here, and I mean, we said that this would happen, and it's unfortunate, but it's the reality of things, right? This is our first ACL tear of the season, and I watched it in real time when I was watching on Thursday the Minnesota versus Dallas game. So Emma Chichova, she is a rookie this year, and you know, all it took is one plant, and you know, the knee gave out. So again, I may sound like a broken record, but I don't care. It's important that we take care of our feet, we take care of our knees. I am definitely an advocate for prevention protocols. Like, I really feel like, especially on the youth level, like parents, coaches, y'all should have some type of prevention protocol in place before y'all practicing, before games, because really reading the data, that can reduce the occurrence of these ACL tears by at least 60%. Right. And that's a big deal. We've covered and said, we know that women are 2 to 8 times more likely to tear their ACL than their male counterparts. So we're going to continue to see this happen, right? Like, it's very unfortunate, but we got to make sure that, also too, doing, we had Hooper's Academy talk about, the flexibility that comes with being a dancer and the strain that, they go through. Like, we had a clip on our stories about a week ago showing that Kobe actually took tap dancing, a tap dancing class after he was dealing with multiple ankle sprains and ankle strains in in a season. And he basically said that helped with his ankle and foot mobility. So, these things, if your feet are not strong, then everything else upwards of that is going to be compromised. So just continuing to advocate for prevention protocols, and that, you're focusing on the feet. So just wanted to bring that to the light. I mean, we also had an ACL tear in preseason, right? Catherine Westbeld, Maddie Westbeld's sister on the Phoenix Mercury. She tore her ACL, unfortunately, too. So it's it's something that's on the upward trajectory. It's been happening for years, but now it seems like it's like really in our face. With it happening multiple times. So just encouraging everybody to who coaches young ladies to make sure they take that into consideration. So that's my my 2 cents on that. I'm just wishing her a healthy recovery. I know it's always a pain when you suffer a major injury like this, but I really feel like it helps to add to your mental resiliency. It's nice to see Cameron Brink coming back from the torn ACL, and now I feel like she's, getting more comfortable and back to herself. So yeah, just something that I wanted to highlight.
Thank you for that. Because it's happening at a high clip as we've been talking about. So prevention protocols are necessary at this point.
For sure.
Moving on, we are now going to talk about the business of sports. We talked about SKECHERS back in 2024 when SKECHERS was like basically, for lack of better words, I don't want to call it a rebrand. They just like wanted to focus more about tapping in with professional basketball players. At the time, they were focused on NBA basketball.
Right.
So they signed Joel Embiid, Julius Randle. They even had like a collaboration or signed Snoop Dogg back in like 2024. And I feel like we talked about that. And SKECHERS, when you hear SKECHERS, you don't typically think basketball sneaker or basketball performance shoe or sports performance shoe. You think of an older person wanting a shoe or sneaker out of for comfortability.
For sure.
And so they've been, I still like to say, Brittany and I have talked about this even offline, and it's like SKECHERS has done such a great job and like really taking over the market in professional basketball to the point that now SKECHERS, as you see on the screen, announced a multi-year partnership, making them the official partner of the league. That's a big deal. As soon as we seen that, we was like, damn, Nike, damn, Adidas. Y'all let SKECHERS come in and
bully their way into it. Crazy.
This is a big deal, seriously, for SKECHERS. So they've been at it now, for what, 2-3 years?
Yeah.
And this is where they're at. I think this is a huge milestone for SKECHERS. Jackie Young, Rakia Jackson, Kiki Iriafen, they are assigned to SKECHERS. Spendoc, yeah. Yeah, it's been it's been super interesting to see how they shifted their focus. And they've done such a masterful job doing it. I feel like we were on record saying this. I'm gonna say it again. I wish I could be in the boardroom when they're negotiating, with these players to have them sign with them. Like, they've just been doing a great job. We've been seeing certain sneaker brands like on the decline. We've seen it. We've been watching it. Brittany, if you want to talk about that, that would be great.
I mean,
and I'll add my 2 cents, but yeah.
I mean, for SKECHERS, like you said, to get ahead of all these other brands that have already established themselves, right? Nike, Adidas, right? Even Reebok, even New Balance. Under Armour is really going under.
Yes.
I mean, from seeing the exodus of athletes, from Steph Curry moving on to seeing Kelsey Plum say, kudos, deuces, I'm done, right? Like, the young lady was wearing Adidas sneakers during the Unrivaled season when she's under contract with Under Armour. Like, if that don't tell you something is going on, then I don't know what else. Even their stock, Traca, okay? Like, in the public markets, you know, I read an article talking about how their founder, I'm not sure what his name is right now, I can't get off the top of my head, but their founder came back in 2024. He, as the CEO, right? He came back and instituted and established a restructuring plan to basically try to get the ball rolling again. And really, this is the third year that they've seen a decline in North American sales. So something is going on. They lost their mojo. I don't know what has happened. You know, losing Steph Curry was a big deal. You know, losing Kelsey Plum, that's a big deal. So I don't know what they're gonna do to kind of reposition themselves as, you know, a top sneaker brand in the industry, but they got a lot of things to think about when it comes to that. So yeah, Under Armour is one of those brands that's on the decline, and so is Nike. I think Nike is too. They, you know, they enamor us with all the Jordans that keep coming out. I know y'all love Jordans, but what else can y'all do but sell me Jordans? We haven't seen any type of innovation from Nike. I'm gonna be honest. Like, yeah, I mean, we keep getting hoodwinked with the different colorways of Jordans and the different numbers. Woohoo! Like, it's I don't know what to say. I mean, you got Brian Windhurst over here talking about Nike is not popular no more because NBA players are not popular. No. They not doing something over there. It's they're not expanding their horizons. They're not giving us anything refreshing to look at. You know, I mean, you got Adidas doing their 3D printing sneakers and stuff like that. Like you got, you know, SGA with Reebok. I mean Converse, I believe, and like even Converse, like SGA's with Converse. He just won MVP again. I'll rock some SGAs before I rock Nikes. Like these companies got to realize, like they're getting complacent and it's stagnant. It's stagnant. And that's not how you stay afloat. Like we could go back to the Blockbuster analogy and how Blockbuster just thought that they was gonna, you know, stay on the horizons, and then all these streaming platforms basically came in and kind of made them look like a dinosaur. Bye. Okay, because y'all didn't want to adapt. And that's pretty much what I have to say. They have to adapt with the times, and it doesn't seem like they are. They're just holding on to the things that were, and you can't do that in this time and age. So shout out to SKECHERS for you know, they
huge leaps.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
They putting the pressure.
I continue to say this is a big deal. Shouts to SKECHERS. I'm excited to see who else they sign. I'm excited to see what else they working on. So yeah, keep your eyes on SKECHERS. Next we have, and Brittany talked about this briefly early, about the media rights deal and the W. You know, back in 2024, we had the NBA negotiate their media rights deal. Oh, let me see what Spin Doc said. I would like to see more athletes say in the design of their shoes with companies trying to crack them mainstream like Skechers and New Balance. They have the money, so now put out the right product. Right. I agree. hmm
Absolutely.
And that's I will say that is the dope thing we have seen. Granted, she's with Nike, but Asia Wilson. Asia Wilson did a good job in walking us through her design, her thought process, the intentionality behind the sneaker. We seen that. But I agree. I think more athletes should have more say in the design of their sneaker.
For sure. Yeah, give them creative control, please. Let's see some storytelling because that's what we got with Asia Shoe. Like it was storytelling. I mean, I don't feel like we got that from Sabrina with her.
Yeah,
I don't feel like we. Who else is signed to Nike? Caitlin. Like,
yeah.
there's no like y'all not. I'm pretty sure Asia made it a point. Like, yo, I'm going to be a part of this process.
And that's what I was about to say. Like, I don't know about, the other two players that you mentioned. I don't know if they wanted to be part of that process, which, again, like, to each his own. Some people do, some people don't. That's just like, that's business, period. You got some CEOs or business owners that want to know every intricate detail about where their money is going, how it's being spent, what is being spent for, what is being produced. And then you got some people that's like, you know what? I'm going to hire who I need to hire. I trust that person to get it done. Or just, I don't really care about that joint that much.
That could never be me. I'm sorry.
I agree. But yeah, no, like we definitely seen that with Asia. Like from the commercials, the rollout, you know, everything. Like she's a part of that. We can see it. So nah, I agree, Spender.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. But back to this media rights deal. In 2024, we saw the NBA negotiate on behalf of the W, which led to what, like a $2.1 billion valuation. And we
Mm-hmm.
said that was low. We also talked about at the time how, part of the deal was, in 3 years, the W can renegotiate uh, and see where their valuation lies. We in what, year 2 of this deal?
Yeah.
And we see that the valuation, the media rights deal is now worth $3.1 billion. So they up a bill. Y'all were off $1 billion. NBA, y'all were off $1 billion at
And I mean,
minimum.
I still think they off. We
They're
still think they off.
they're still off right now. We can count that they're off at minimum a B.
Yeah.
NBA. I don't want y'all negotiating, yo.
They not
I don't.
they not negotiating in good faith, yo. They just trying to hurry up the process and be like, we did the deal. I don't think
Yo.
they really trying to really push for them to
Yeah,
really
y'all left
get
that
paid.
minimum $1 billion on the table. That
Yeah,
sounds
that's crazy.
nuts to me.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah.
That's not chump change. But yeah, so now it's worth $3.1 billion. Their partners are Disney, and Disney is made up of ABC, ESPN, NBC Universal, which is NBC and Peacock, Amazon, which is Prime Video, Paramount, which is CBS, and Scripps, which is Ion, and then also USA Sports, which is USA Network, and NBA TV. The average annual value of the new deal is $281 million, about 6.5 times more than the previous deals. Average annual value of $43 million. The WNBA added CBS, Scripps, and Amazon as partners over the last few years, bringing its total media revenue to about $60 million last year. like I just mentioned, the deals come with a reset provision after the third season, which will be 2028. If triggered, the sides can renegotiate the terms of the deal, including length and costs, which I'm sure they probably will do. Yeah, right. Yeah. Under the new media deals, the WNBA secured a record 216 national games for the 2026 season, which started last Friday. Ion holds the most number of games, 50, followed by USA Network, 48. This year will be the first time since 2000 that the WNBA's fourth season that a Disney Network, which is ESPN, and will not air the WNBA finals, which is interesting. I think Kathy in this article by Front Office kind of talked a little bit about or addressed, the backlash that she was facing because of the games being on multiple like broadcasts. And she basically said, we're not the only entity going through this, and that she is expecting we'll eventually see some type of consolidation. But what's happening is happening to a bunch of other, corporations and companies, because this is just the free market right now. So long story less long, my gripe is with the undervalue of this deal, which we talked about. We talked about this.
Just keep lowballing them, man. That's how I feel.
But this also shows, outside of you leaving a bill on the table, this also shows like it's in alignment with the players getting more money and the cap, the salary cap. All of this is like intertwined. All of this makes sense. So like even when they were negotiating with the CBA, oh, we can't give y'all that money. Oh, we can't give y'all those salaries. Oh, the salary cap don't make no sense. Oh, this what's happening right now further proves like no, them players deserved obviously more money. Not that we needed to see this to know that, but this further showcases like no, they deserved more money, and that salary cap needed to increase tremendously.
Yeah, I mean, going from I cannot believe they were at a $1 million salary cap. But going from 1 mil to 7 mil, that's a big leap. But it still has to be more.
And it will be. And the numbers at this point are going to show why it should be. So yeah, shots to the W, the players, and NBA. I want to the negotiations. I don't know. I don't like that.
Yeah, is the Players Association in there during the negotiations with the NBA? Because I need them.
Oh no! But back in 2024, they was like, we want to see how they set like
right.
We want to see how y'all get. How did y'all get this number?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna, if I had to guess, the answer is no.
Oh.
But who knows? But yeah, so that's the update with the media rights deal. We can move on to Upshot. We talked a little bit about it earlier, but we know that last season a lot of WNBA teams were struggling to fill their rosters because they were going through or facing a lot of injuries, which Brittany reported on. And so, obviously the WNBA tried to address those issues under this new CBA, adding 2 developmental spots per team, which would essentially expand the roster to 14. But the problem still is there. And so then you have Upshot. And shouts to K Dot of the 9450, because that's how I believe many of us were introduced to Upshot. Um, he has been talking about it for some time. So again, shouts to K Dot for doing that. But yeah, Upshot launched 2 days ago, May 15th. It's a new women's basketball league led by Donna Orienda, which she was a WNBA president from 2005 to 2010. The league is also going to be running in alignment with the WNBA season. So it's going to run from May to September. So if in fact the goal of this league would be to partner with the WNBA so that if teams do need players or where there's situations where injuries are piling up, they can just tap on Upshot shoulders and have a player come in domestically. Whereas, a lot of times we're waiting or seeing that they're waiting for players to come from overseas to fulfill their role in the United States. So I think this is a great league. And you mentioned this earlier for exposure purposes. It keeps these players in shape also. We can see the growth in these players' games from when we may have first seen them when they got drafted up until like now. And it would only make sense for the WNBA to eventually partner with them down the line.
I mean, I could see this as like Upshot League being like their developmental league.
Correct.
Kind of, filling that role, filling that gap. I mean, it's the same, the NBA has the G League. You can move players up and down. Players can sign 2-way contracts, like get sent down. They not performing well. Go down here, show us what you got. Come back up. So, they can probably eventually change it from Upshot League to just the W League and have a developmental league for the W, like you said, and have another pool of players for them to choose from. I mean, we got high profile names playing. Diamond Johnson. We were big advocates for her when she was at Norfolk State. Deja Kelly. Harmony Turner from Harvard. Asia Durr. I'm not sure if people remember Asia Durr. She went to Louisville. She played with the Liberty for a little bit. These are great players, and they deserve shots. I mean, I love that there's developmental contracts now in the WNBA, but it's still not enough. Still not enough. So I like this. I'm definitely gonna go back and watch some of the games. Because Deja Kelly putting up 31 and 14. That's impressive.
Yeah, she did well. Mid-range.
Mid-range mafia, baby.
Yeah, she's definitely part of it. So it was just good to see those players have an opportunity. And I like the fact that according to this article, they've structured their contracts in a way so that if the players actually do leave mid-season for the WNBA, they're able to. So they're like already prepared to go that route, so that these teams could look at these players in Upshot to fulfill those roles on the team. So they already were thinking ahead. This is a very purpose-driven initiative. So I hope that down the line, at some point, the WNBA will partner with Upshot to It only makes sense for them to do that. So
For sure. More hoops for you. So check it out. They
yeah,
got a YouTube page. You go in there and see the replay of the game. So check it out if y'all, if y'all want to see more women's basketball.
mm-hmm. Oh, and also they're going to be expanding. I know one of the cities is Baltimore. They'll be expanding to Baltimore in 2027.
Fire.
Yes. We are now moving on to NIL news / college sports news. Brittany, do you want to talk about? Yeah.
Yeah. This was quite a surprise. I remember when we first seen this hit. This was probably about 2 weeks ago. We seen this on our timeline, and we were just like, "Huh?" But if you remember in 2025 WNBA draft, the Chicago Sky drafted I'm gonna just say Asia Sifka because I'm not sure how you pronounce it, and I don't want to do it wrong. But this was basically a draft and stash for them. Like they drafted her, she didn't play, she went back to Slovenia and continued to play overseas. But what is pivotal about this is that she never signed with the Sky upon being drafted. So this actually allowed for her to sign with a college team. She's gonna be going to play for Kenny Brooks in Kentucky, and I'm just like, her and Clara Strack. She's 6'4", I believe we said. I think that's gonna be a pretty dynamic pair there. So I was just taken aback when we seen this. This was she probably got a nice NIL package.
Without a doubt, she did. Like no doubt. Chicago keeps rights to her. But we've seen this because we've reported on this situation, not necessarily in W, more so on the men's side, where we've seen a lot of players coming from the G League back to college. And, there was a lot of, court legal situations happening where courts had to like weigh in on this. And it's been a hot topic for like the past year and a half, almost 2 years. And the NCAA Division I cabinet actually recently approved a rule change that would force prospects to withdraw from drafts, including the NBA draft, that requires an opt-in in order to maintain NCAA eligibility. This rule, however, does not apply to players who have not signed professional contracts or declared for the draft, such as international players. Now, that is more so towards the NBA. I want to see if such a rule will move over to the WNBA. How many years would she be allowed to play? That I don't know. And I don't know if it's a thing where I don't know what the Division I cabinet decided for her. I think every case is a case by case basis because that's what we saw on the men's side. Like they had to bring it to the Division I cabinet, have a discussion about it, and see how many years of eligibility those men would have. I have no clue how many years they've decided to give to her. Again, this has been such a hot topic. I mean, even when it came to Medina, okay, she wanted to come back for another year. They had to rule on that. So everything is on like a case by case basis.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is interesting because this is the second time in which Sifka is doing this, right? This is her second time, but this is her first time going to college, right?
Yes,
Didn't she do this last year? She did the same thing, but play. Well, yeah, she went back to play overseas.
right. And I mean, we've seen that this is not the first time a WNBA draftee signs with a college team. We had Aja Kane, who was
Mm-hmm.
also drafted in 2025 by the New York Liberty in the third round. Um, and then she got picked up in the expansion draft this year, but she's committed to SMU. So it this is again, I'm guessing a case by case basis, like Chantee said, but it's just kind of incredible to see that someone who gets drafted in a professional league is able
Mm-hmm.
to come back
Come
and
back.
have eligibility as a collegiate athlete. But I mean, I guess they,
This is where we're at.
what
It's
that
an
NIL
interesting time.
package looking like? I want to know what the
Crazy.
NIL.
Crazy. And Mr. SC, but I just wanted to clarify. So I brought up Medina to talk about the Division One cabinet, how they've been having to like rule on eligibility, not necessarily when it comes to players coming from professional back down to college, but just eligibility as a whole. Within the last year or two, the Division One cabinet has had to have multiple conversations about multiple players and how to handle just eligibility and determining whether they should get another. For example, with Medina, if she would be able to come back and hoop another year in college, or if she has to move forward with entering the draft, which is what she ultimately decided to do because the Division One cabinet was like, no, we're not giving you another year of eligibility. So yeah, I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's a hot topic. This won't be the last time we see this. Um,
Not at all.
yeah, but yeah.
Shout out to
Um,
her. She getting all
she's
the
getting money.
experience that she could possibly get overseas, coming to college, um, see what that is looking like, and then she'll go to the WNBA because the Chicago Sky still retain her rights unless they trade it to somebody else. But I mean, this is business at this point. So felt like we wanted to highlight that story.
Yeah. Um, and then finally, in NIL/college news, we saw that Tracy McGrady is going to be heading to Wagner as their strategic advisor to men's basketball. That was announced this past week on May 13th. Um, he has waived a salary, which is interesting. So and will serve as in a volunteer capacity. And that's really what I think. I think that's because his son is heading to Wagner. So his son, Layman, is a 6'4" freshman who actually redshirted last year at Oral Roberts, and he is transferring in this upcoming season. So I think this is great that, he'll be there to help guide and develop his son personally, but then also provide value um, to Wagner. And we're seeing this a lot more often. I know Brittany covered this plenty of times on here, where we're seeing, previous NBA players and current NBA players connecting themselves to either their alma maters or other universities to like bring other student athletes in. This is a marketing strategy.
Yeah.
it's a win-win for Wagner, and for Tracy, to be honest. So
For sure. I mean, we just reported that John Wall got the job at Howard, you know, for director of basketball operations. So this is another trend that we're seeing. It's the NIL era, and you need um, this either from popularity to kind of sway recruits this way, to just knowledge of the industry and how things work. So shout out to T Mac.
yeah, he was talking a little bit about. I'm gonna read a quote. He said the challenges college athletics face today, especially at the mid major level in a city like New York, can be very difficult. And I'm looking forward to helping Coach McMillan and his staff in every way possible to raise the profile, the level of talent, and the business opportunities both on and off the court for his young athletes as they grow, not just in basketball, but as leaders. My hope is to help create an environment where all involved can stay, grow together, and really master their game and life skills over time. So that aligns with what you just mentioned. So yeah, no, I'm excited to see it.
Let's get it. Let's get the mentorship popping. Like, he's was an NBA player, and I think kids having direct access to that is really great. So, um, just looking forward to kind of following the trajectory of all the NBA players and everybody who has some type of role in college athletics. So.
Okay, so that's all we have for business or sports news. Um, we don't have tech news like Brittany mentioned earlier. So we can move into culture news. I didn't know if you wanted to talk about VinylCon a little bit, Brittany, since this was your first time
Yeah,
attending.
I feel like this just plays into the next story we're gonna talk about because it's related, but yeah, VinylCon. If you did not know, people still collect vinyls. People are still big collectors of vinyls. I had the opportunity to go to their Baltimore, Maryland edition for Mother's Day weekend, and I copped a few vinyls that were on my list. I'm not a heavy collector. I just really collect things that I like. Okay. But that's the case with all collectors. They collect things that they like, and some may have expansive music taste, and some may have limited music taste. I'll probably say I'm on the limited end, if you want to say. But it was a great experience, and it just shows me that the community is really deep. It's heavy. I was not aware that people still were collecting physical media, but I think with the times, with like streaming and you not owning music, I think it's um even cooler to see people still gravitating towards physical media and ownership, like owning the music that you love. So I had a great time. It was a 2-day event. Um, you know, you're walking around. I think there was over 50 vendors there that you could choose from, and selling all types of genres, right? From rock to rap to R&B, old school, jazz, like every possible electronic, like rock and roll, like it. I was overwhelmed. I'm gonna be honest. I was a little overwhelmed because there was a lot going on. But I tried to stick to my list, which I did. Because you got to go in there with a list, or you just gonna be grabbing. Okay. But it was a great experience. They're actually doing a vinyl con in New York in June. I believe on June 13th and June 14th in Brooklyn. So, if you're interested in having this experience, then tickets are pretty affordable. It's not like it's a arm and a leg. If you want to be an early bird, you'll probably pay just a little bit more than the average ticket, but it's pretty reasonable, and you meet a lot of cool people. They had a live DJ the whole time, cutting up. We did a vinyl crawl with a couple of other like DJs essentially. Got discounts on some stuff, so it's pretty cool. I had an amazing time, and that kind of leads into our next story, where we talk about Tanaya Latson. She's actually a vinyl collector herself. She got a shout out from Record Store Day US, the day she got drafted, and they talked about how she's been a collector since day one. Since so she's a heavy and a reoccurring customer that comes in all the time, and I'm interested to see what her collection looks like and see what.
Right. Or what physical media she has. Because
Right.
oftentimes it'd be a bunch of other stuff in there too. So I'm interested to see like what she may have collected specifically during her time at Florida State.
Right.
Because the record store, their location is in Florida. So I just want to know, yeah, what she was collecting. So I was very excited personally to see that. I was like, oh, okay, Tanaya. So I have some 45 vinyls. I love that.
Yeah,
So
and that's
yeah.
something I learned too. Like, there's all different types. Like, you got the 12 inches vinyls and the 7 inches. I did not know what 45s were, but they. I'm learning that there's all these different categories for these things, and it's evolved over time. So, yeah, Tanaya, we would like to know what your collection looks like, because
Mm-hmm.
people are also they were also selling CDs,
Oh yeah.
cassette tapes. So it was just interesting to see that. We grew up on cassette tapes and CDs and stuff like that. So it was really nostalgic to kind
Mm-hmm.
of see. I kind of took me back to my childhood when we had to record on cassette tapes on our
Mm-hmm.
stereos, waiting up at the end of the night to funk flex and actually press and record to hear stuff like that. Or even like, I seen VHSs too. Like, they were selling VHSs, like,
DVDs.
yeah, DVDs. So like, physical media is making a resurgence back. Like,
Mm-hmm.
people are starting to realize, all you do is stream, 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 and if you stop that streaming service, you don't own any of that stuff. So, you know, I definitely have DVDs and all that in my collection. So, yeah, interested to see if any of you guys are, collectors of physical media, and we would love to know. So, hit
Yes.
us up in the DM. I also did a reel about it. If y'all wanted to see, just go to my my Instagram, Wellness Brit, and check it out. Yeah. So I
So
think
yeah,
that's our show for today.
that is it. Thank y'all for rocking with us this entire time. If you missed anything, make sure that you go back and listen. Um, make sure that you follow us on all social media platforms: Instagram, X, aka Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube. We should be back next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, for episode 127. Oh, Jody said, "Wow, this is good to know. I wish they kept some of my your old. She wish she kept some of her mixtapes and mixed CDs. I'm gonna try to make it to the New York vinyl con. I'm interested in going to that. Spend ourselves in any games. Let me see.
Yeah, let's look at the any good matchups that really poke out. Um, I'm definitely looking forward to tomorrow's game, Mystics versus Wings.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would like to see
The
the
Young
young
Bucks.
Mystics
Yeah.
versus the Wings and see if the Wings can get it together from what we seen this past week when they kind of folded in the crucial moments of the game. So see if they bounce back and see if the Mystics can get another win on the road. I'm really looking
Right.
forward to the game tomorrow, though, for sure.
Same. So I'm trying to see what else. Valkyries and the Fever on Friday. Wings in the Dream on Friday.
The Sun got to get a win though. They
A
on
win. Yeah, they on for.
yeah,
We'll have to see. But yeah. So again, thank y'all for tapping in with us. Brittany, anything else before we head out?
Nah, I mean, just make sure y'all following us. We're on Twitter, LinkedIn, again, YouTube, uh, every platform that you could possibly think of. Please subscribe. That always helps. Follow our partners over at the 9450. They're doing great work over there as well. So yeah, just if you have any questions, concerns, y'all can always DM us. We're open to to discussing or responding, so we don't bite. Okay, but that's it.
Peace,
That's
y'all.
our show. Peace.